It looks like we are moving closer and closer to disclosure of aliens and UFOs. I brought you guys 3 sitting current congressmen that had classified briefings last week. All 3 came out of those meetings saying absolutely, positively, we are absolutely not alone. What I learned from those e-files is that our government can keep a years secret, life-changing, game-changing, world-changing secrets for many years. Not only that, get away with it. I want to bring you guys more whistleblowers, more scientists missing, and we are moving closer. Check this out.
51, Wright Patterson down in Dayton, my home state of Ohio. We've been hearing about this stuff now for 70 years. That we have it, we don't have it. That we've re-engineered it, no, we haven't. I know you can't talk about much because you're an active member, but just give me a wink. Are we alone?
No, we're not. We're not
Holy,
alone.
Wait a minute. Guys, did we just break that? Wait a minute. Is that April Fool's today, Tim?
No, it's second. No, we are not alone.
We don't make all them movies up just because somebody's creative in Hollywood and knows how to write that crap.
No,
They're
no,
getting
they
this
don't.
from somewhere.
Let me leave you with this one, Dan.
Okay.
I was in a meeting, and I'll just leave it at that as a meeting because I have a lot of meetings. Yeah, and if that was allowed to be told in the public, the wheels would come off. They would come off because every detractor was put in their place. I'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Now he's a current congressman, so he can't tell everything in detail because he's still under oath. So he doesn't look like a crackpot that needs some attention. I need an interview. I need some money. My man was very matter of fact. Like I keep saying, I study body language experts, and they tell you what to look for. I study them because they study the alien whistleblowers. And every single alien whistleblower, I know a lie. I did my share of lying as a kid, of course. I heard my share of lying as a kid, of course. One thing about a lie, and if people making stuff up, it flip-flops all over the place. You guys going to hear some of the same exact stories over and over again. Listen to this.
What you're going to see in the weeks and months to come is going to be an ontological shock to the point of 9/11 and the day after the JFK murder.
Wow, an astronomical shock. If it's nothing, where the shock is coming from? To all the skeptics. One thing I noticed about skeptics, I talk to them. They have this guard up. And a lot of it is because of religion. They're saying, but try to coincide it with religion. It doesn't derail religion technically. You don't have to look at it like that. That's one big thing that every skeptic don't want to derail is religion. But I don't see any reason why any of these people lying.
What you're going to see in the weeks and months to come is going to be an ontological shock to the point of 9/11 and the day after the JFK murder. Trust me on this, because no one is ready. A public that bashes each other over the head for a $10 toaster on Black Friday at Target is not ready to see a 1975 16 millimeter film of a craft coming down at an Air Force base with occupants coming out that don't look human.
Wow! Now, the reason I said about a lie is because the lie is flipped and flopped and all the way around the earth. Every single whistleblower got the exact same story. Now, what he's talking about is there's a story that went first contact, and it was like we had like an alien craft at 32, 47, which was Roswell, and 52, where there was a treaty signed with the aliens. And that they did come to a base, a United States base, land, and that's the exact same story. Watch Alien Encounter of the Third Kind. That's this story. This story is the exact of Alien Encounters of the Third Kind, which was written and by if you watch the Hulu of the government alien I forgot the name. It'll come to me in a minute. I'm gonna also bring you guys. Look at all these scientists.
Story that caught our attention. We're talking about a number of U.S. scientists, some connected to very sensitive research, who have died or disappeared. Let's break down what we know so far. We're going to start with Carl.
All of these scientists who worked allegedly with aliens and NASA. Oopsie. Walk out of the house. Gone. Walk out of the house. Whoop. Gone. Whoop. Gone. Gone, 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 gone. And it's everywhere on Twitter. And everybody's now talking about all these scientists. Where they going? Where they go? What happened? They just allegedly... And that's why you're going to see this guy, he's going to say, I would never do that to myself. He's going to say that. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys Marco Rubio. Listen.
That's over American airspace. That's a pretty big deal. We need to understand why we did it and what these things are, where they come from, who owns them, who made them, why are they here. And perhaps the explanation is...
Listen to this.
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. He came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened, and what he wanted was a group members of Congress to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time, and so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like
well, that was the testimony of David Grush,
All right.
the House Oversight
And then,
Committee.
all right, so now we're getting these
Any of those activities could not be moved. Craft that had been recovered. It's a physical impossibility to get CIA had for crash recovery. That it wasn't.
So now, what are we seeing right now? We're seeing all these.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David.
Wait, hold on. Let me show you guys. I want to show you guys this interview.
Serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to just...
Everybody is saying this. What if came out would unhinge the world? Wait a minute. If it's nothing to see, skeptics, what's unhinging the world? Well, with there should be nothing to see. Oh, yeah, I went in the briefing. There was nothing. Let's move on. The United States government can't keep a secret. The atomic bomb they worked on that like 2 years. Nobody said a single word. No husbands, no nothing. All types of secrets are being held. Now, for this guy who says there's an alien breeding program,
I think
that will sound ridiculous to the average person. However, I've heard that from every single whistleblower. Every single whistleblower say the exact same thing, that our DNA was mixed with theirs. That resulted in the final result of a human being. My thing is this. After reading those e-files, pay attention to everything that you've thought sinister. I'm an IT specialist. And when I found out, even the biggest dork in the class, biggest dweeb, the nicest guy, never, ever, ever broke a law and thought about broken the law in his life. When he found out that you can the keystroke program. This was back when Windows 95. This was back when computers were this was Windows 95 and Windows 98. When he found out what you can do, first, not the last, not the second, not the third. First thing he thought to do was put it on the teacher's computer to get everything. Now, the first thing he thought was something malicious. If you are a scientist, put yourself in their shoes. If you're a scientist, you got an underground classified lab. that nobody can say nothing. If they do, they end up like those scientists. If they talk, it's a done deal. You can do whatever you want. You're not under the government, the United States law anymore. You're under classified third party. The CIA, all those people, the shadow governments are immune from prosecution. Ask the person in those e-files, every single person in those e-files, have they prosecuted anybody? And you got hundreds, if not thousands of witnesses saying that man did it. And they're like, nope, we saw nothing. Nothing. We got 3 more million files that's documented. And they say, nope, not releasing them. And even the ones we did release, so what? We got a witness stating that person do it. So what? We got a living person right here saying he did it. We know nothing. My point is to say that is the government can keep a secret, will keep a secret, and they have. Why would you still think they wouldn't? There's hundreds of black sites that people verify. Underground, they're doing who knows what. So the alien breeding program, every alien whistleblower says the exact same thing. And what would you do? I know if me, right now, today, if they say, hey, we'll give you your own cloning program. And you can go underground. We'll get you $1 billion cloning program. Do what you do. Oh, what? Hold on. I could have, I know a few. Abby Phillips, CNN. Sister, I'm going to need that DNA. Where your doctor at? The Beyonce and whoever. I could do that. What? Wait a minute. I'm not about to clone a sheep. Who kicked me? Sheep? What? And if I have an alien, no question. If you're going to have Beyonce, they probably got a clone of Beyonce giving concerts and happy endings underground somewhere as a clone. Some clone. And then also, if you could clone people, this person is giving us a hard time. This person is our biggest adversary. Why not clone them? Like, if you can't get rid of them, you can't get rid of them. The world will throw a fit. But if we can and clone them and just replace them, nobody would know. Hey, that's the first thing I'm working on. Hey, let's check this. Can we clone humans? That's my first question. Not my last question. My very first question. Can we clone humans? Oh, have you tried yet? I'm sure you have. It's crazy how the average person, they wouldn't do that. Jeez. Wow. That's what the average person is. That's where they at today. Our government wouldn't do that. Oh, goodness. So every alien whistleblower said the exact same thing, that we've taken the alien DNA and mixed it with ours. And that's the biggest secret. That's what they're saying is the biggest holdup, is that they walk amongst us. When I first heard the term that they walk amongst us, that was the dumbest, craziest. I'm like, get out of here with that BS. What are these, some shapeshifters or some crap? I just skipped that part. But now, that's the story. And that's the first thing I'm going to do. Wait a minute, we got aliens? Oh, okay, cool. What's they DNA? So we got cloning. I got a cloning lab. You got aliens. Hey, let me grab that DNA. I'm going to mix that with this sister over here. Let's see what we get. I'm going to take a chameleon, everything that got superpowers, something different. I'm going to take their DNA and I'm going to check it out. Let's see if we can get a super X-Man down there. Why not? Of course we're going to do that. Oh, of course we're going to do that. Why not build a superhuman? Somebody that can get us to go out there and be superhuman and make us better. Why not? Of course I'm going to do that. Of course they're doing that. If you think they're like, we're not going to do that. We have morals. You have not read those e-files, obviously. And if you have not read those e-files, start reading them. Start at square one. Go through all 3 million of them joints. You will be a different person. Trust me. Anyway, you tell me what you think. Peace.
be on fire. Ooh, down to the wire. It's my life in the shy. Ooh, it's my life in the shy.